2, 1, action. Hi everyone, my name's Anahita and welcome to the final PNC Podcast of 2024. I have with me Rosalina.
Hi.
And we have a few very special former students here to visit us. Please welcome Hannah Derrida.
Hello.
And Chelsea Aprit. Welcome back. I understand you were the first two students to host PNTV back in 2020.
Yes, we were.
We were, yeah. On the very first episode. We started it all.
What schools do you currently attend and what has been your favourite subject so far?
Can I go first?
Yep, so I started high school at Urbray Agricultural High School. I left there end of year 10 to go to a senior school, Marden Senior College. I don't have a uniform, so that's why I'm just wearing this. Favourite subject? That's hard. I'd say I'm best at English. I'm good at English. So I guess that's probably my favourite now.
Yeah. I go to Adelaide High, so I've gone there for like all of high school. And I've had so many favourite subjects. I mean, I've tried everything. They give you every single option when you go into high school. So at the moment, probably math, which is crazy because I used to hate math in primary school, but I really like math now. Or maybe like my year 9 woodwork class. That was super good.
Amazing. Yeah. What was the biggest adjustment for you when transitioning from primary school to high school?
Oh, there's so many. It's like it's so different, but then you get used to it. Yeah. I guess a big thing was just how everything worked, like Daymap, getting used to using Daymap a lot, which is like this site that a lot of people use to look at your classes, all of the attachments for assignments, everything's on there and you just go to that. Like in primary school, you kind of just go to your teacher.
Yeah, your teacher just tells you.
Yeah, a lot of the time it's like, oh, just message me on Daymap, and you just do a lot of that. Yeah. I think that's a big thing.
It's a lot more laid back in high school. I mean, I feel like teachers hype it up. All the teachers are going to hate me, but I feel like they hype it up to be like a big and scary thing. But you just got to remember that everyone's in the same boat as you, or was in the same boat as you at some point. And everyone's entering a new place and just getting used to it.
And another thing to like keep in mind as well is obviously in year 6 when you're finishing, it's a lot of pressure and you're in high school now. You do this, you do that. When you get there, they're not going to sit you down and be like, okay, do your work. They will set you up. They'll help you. Depending on what school, some schools have year 11s that go to your classes and help you around and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot.
They do a lot to support you and help you make friends and stuff like that,
Yeah.
What's your fondest memory from Prospect North Primary School?
Oh my gosh.
I have a lot.
Yeah. See, I was only here for year 7. The last year, so I think my favourite thing was being here at PNTV. It was the best. That was probably my favourite, and I also loved when we were doing rehearsals for graduation. That was so fun because it was like a whole week of just rehearsals.
Exactly.
And everyone was so excited about high school. Did you guys have your graduation last night?
It was,
yeah. How was that?
That was a big party.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was.
The graduation was so good.
No, that was a really big thing because I was the MC.
Me too. I was an MC.
Oh, really? Yeah, for my year. And that was like, I thought I was so cool and, it was so exciting.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. I have a lot of fond memories. I mean, I went to PNPS for my entire primary school from I was like 5 years old to, how old were we when we graduated? 12? So I was there for a long time. I met so many people. I made so many friends. But I don't know, meeting Hannah was definitely a highlight, guys, not to get cheesy.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't know. There's just too many to spill out all at the moment. But yeah, it's just a great school. So.
How did being a part of PNTV prepare you for high school or other activities?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Well, my school runs like a program just like this called The Show. I was never a part of it, unfortunately, because when I joined high school, they were still kind of recovering from COVID, and so that was all kind of skewed up. Like it wasn't the same as it was like prior to COVID. So it was a bit more of a process to join and learn, and so I never really found the time to do that. But this all relates back to things that I do in classes like art, when we do photography, like the knowledge of the things that I learned about cameras and stuff like that. There's so many classes that they get you to use cameras and things like that and things in like the digital media area, and this stuff has helped me a lot.
Because I went to an agricultural school, we didn't have a lot of these things. There was like a lot more with outdoorsy type things. But I think starting PNTV, we learn, you know, how to use proper sentences, how to really have a good conversation with someone. And with podcasts, you're interviewing like older people, adults, stuff like that. It was really helpful to learn how to lead a conversation like that, especially being the youngest. It like matured me, I feel, a bit with having everyone older than me there. Also, just sitting in here with Sammy talking about it just helped me a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the first year of high school, like it helped a lot, definitely. Like it's learning all those conversation skills and it helps you make friends and stuff like that. Yeah.
What are the biggest differences in how teachers interact with students in primary school versus high school?
I think every year of school, teachers, all they want is for you to succeed in their class. Like that never changes. So, like even throughout high school, that's like just one constant, is teachers are always there to support you and help you, and really they do want you to succeed, and over time they'll give you the resources that you need and stuff like that. But I do think it is a lot more laid back. I mean, you're older now, teachers don't feel as though they have to treat you as carefully, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they can be more strict or they can be more laid back and stuff like that, yeah.
I think also a big thing that I remember my teacher saying in primary school was that the teachers that you have, they obviously only teach the class that you are in. They're not teaching you everything, but they're not going to be like, I don't care, you only focus on my class. Like if you go to your teacher and say like, look, I don't have the time to finish this tonight when my due date is, I've got this time tomorrow night, maybe you can have a conversation with your teacher about it. It's not going to be like, oh, well, my class is the priority. You know what I mean? They do understand, but something that was kind of better in primary school was, I remember us like having this big, what was the big like assignment that we had with the Ferks?
The PI.
The PI. That was a big thing, and we'd need to do like another class, and the teacher would be like, oh, you know what, just work on your PI now.
Yeah.
There's not that. You don't really have that in high school, obviously, which is like not as helpful, but then you just kind of have to think about your own time management, which is a big difference, where you can't just go to school and say, can I please work on this? You have to go home, or you need to just go to your teacher one-on-one instead of them just helping the entire class.
The difference between the schoolwork is that it's less, you guys will probably get handouts like this is what you're going to do for homework. It's more what you don't finish in class, you finish at home.
Yeah.
So like on that factor, it's a lot more laid back and just working at it bit by bit instead of leaving it to the last minute. I'm a bad procrastinator. I always leave everything to the last minute.
So do I.
But I've definitely learnt that if you chip at your work over time, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
What is something you miss about Prospect North, and what's something you enjoy more about high school?
Oh God. Okay, I miss a lot about Prospect North. I always think about this. If I could go back to primary school now, how I'd be a genius and it'd just be the best thing ever, but obviously that's not going to happen.
And I'd probably stand up for myself.
But I miss like being in a group all day, like having one class instead of having to split off with your friends. I mean, like being just all together all day, and maybe you'll have a couple lessons with like other teachers, but it's very constant. Yeah. There's not a lot of changing and switching up and stuff like that, which I really enjoy. But I think the thing I enjoy most about high school is probably how more laid back it is, I guess. I suppose it's more, they put a lot more responsibility onto you, which is scary, but it also means that you learn things like time management and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you do just kind of get the hang of it as well. Yeah. But I think something I do really miss is seeing Chelsea every day. Like, it was just, we've been close this whole, like, since we met in year 7. And, splitting off into different schools was hard. Like, we were really upset about it. I really wanted to go to Adelaide High, but
you did.
I was one house out of the zone. So the zone was here and my house was literally the next house, and I wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
But so that's one thing I do miss, is being with like my best friend. But something I enjoy more about high school is the amount of people that are there. You know, primary school, especially this school's quite small. Say you have like a little friendship issue or something, it was a lot of a bigger deal because there's like 200 kids in your year level, which can seem scary. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get lost. There's so many people. How am I going to, find friends? That's how I felt, at least. But then it's good because you'll start off in a friend group and it will be most likely the people in your home group, because in year 7 you do all your classes with your home group, just different teachers. You'll start off there, and it's okay if you move on to other people.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like, oh, I used to be friends with that person.
Yeah, it's not a rush. I think that's like going into high school, I was so like, I wanted to rush making friends so bad because I felt like I just needed to be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
But I mean, you'll figure out that I'm friends with people that I was friends with in year 8, and I became friends with them in year 8. And some of my closest friends I became friends with in year 10 because we had a class together. I mean, like, there's so many people there. There's so many opportunities for you to meet people. And so,
yeah, that's something I definitely prefer. For some people, that would be very, like, daunting.
Yeah.
Having so many people, but it was good for me. That's something I do prefer.
It's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
What has your time at high school shaped what you want to do in the future?
So when I was here doing PNTV, this was definitely something I considered.
Yeah.
But going into a high school when a lot of this wasn't offered, that did kind of change things. One of my dreams, even when I was in year 7 here, was to be a midwife. I always wanted to be a midwife. But being in high school, you just kind of learn what is best for you. Like, I liked the idea of working with babies and mothers and all of that, but you figure out how you learn, what you learn best with, and the way that midwifery works with the shift work and all of that. I realised it would be a big dream of mine, but it just wouldn't happen. So I'm like right now kind of trying to decide what to do, which is a bit stressful because I don't have a lot of time, but I'm getting there. Thinking maybe primary school teaching, which could be good, but that's something that's definitely changed for me going to high school, was figuring out how I learn by choosing the subjects that you learn instead of just getting them handed to you.
Yeah.
It's like having them all laid out in front of you and you can choose what you want to learn. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea what I wanted to do. I mean, even up until I reckon last year, I had no idea what I wanted to do, and I really tried to force myself to figure out how I wanted to work for the rest of my life, like what I wanted my career to be. Did I want it to be more of a hands-on job, stuff like that, and just weigh my options. And so I did decide very recently I'm doing real estate. Next year I'm going into a real estate course on top of school, so I'm doing less subjects at school and doing my real estate course on top of that, which will be really cool. And so, high school, they really do give you all the resources you need to figure out what career you want to do. I mean, they give you so many options for subjects and things like vet courses, which are really cool. Like, they give you so much information. And, like I said before, they just really want to help you strive and succeed. And they give you the resources to help you figure that out.
There's a lot of things in primary school that made no sense to me because it's not explained to you, like what an ATAR is. I had no idea what an ATAR was, or what vet courses were or anything. And obviously, like, you just find out because teachers just come to you and say, like, I think that you'd learn better if you did this, if you did that. They really help you.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to our primary school students who are nervous about starting high school?
See, we were very excited.
We
Chelsea
were.
and I. We were so excited.
We used to fight about whose high school was better.
Yeah, like we were so excited.
We used to fake being in high school.
Yeah, we used to be in class and we'd pretend that we were in high school, and we would go on our little laptops and look up the websites of our high schools and be like, oh, look at this. And
my school has vending machines.
Yeah, like we were so excited.
But yeah, it's daunting. I mean, going into school with you barely going from school where you know everyone to a school where you know barely anyone. I mean, for me at least, Adelaide High didn't have many students from the school, and none of them were really my close friends. And so, I went into it with almost no one. I mean, but yeah, like I said before, like your school will give you the resources to help you find friends. Things like school camp, homerooms, stuff like that. Just remember that everyone's in the same boat as you, and everyone's nervous. So it'll work out.
I think the one thing as well that I'd say is transition day. Yeah. You just get put in your home group and you spend the entire day with those people. And if you go home that day and you think, oh, I don't really think those people had much in common with me and all that, you get a bit nervous about that. It's okay to go to your first day and you can do whatever you want really you know?
Yeah.
Like, that was a big thing for me, was, like, transition day. You know, I thought, like, okay, well, that's where I am now, you know?
Yeah.
But also transition day will help you a
Yeah.
lot. Like, I'm not sure if you guys have already had transition day. You have, yeah.
What
I
schools
think-
are you guys going to?
I'm going to Olsh.
Olsh.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to St. Paul's College.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good. Oh, I
Yeah.
heard Olsh is a really good school. I have a couple friends that go there, so
Yeah.
that's good. But yeah, no, you guys have had your transition day?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was super scared on my transition day. I mean, like, yeah, like I said, they put us in our homeroom with the people that we were going to be spending the most time with. And yeah, I didn't really feel like I fit in. I mean,
Yeah.
like, it took me like a week to actually make like a friend where I was like, oh my God, like me and her are like really, like can be
Yeah.
good friends, you know. And it's because we had a class together, and that gave us the time to bond one-on-one instead of in that big group. I mean, just don't rush it and don't stress about it, because over time you'll find your friend group and your people will find you, and I don't think
And-
it's a rush.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to sound, you know, rude or really out there, but I do, like, I remember just talking to someone, and I don't really like this person.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be friends with them.
And just accepting that not everyone's going to like you as well is important.
Yeah, like, I remember you coming to me after the transition day and saying, like, oh, this girl, she was hanging out with me, but I don't think I'm going to be friends with her. And that's fine as well. But then I remember one of our friends in our friend group came back from transition day, and she was like, I don't even want to go to that school anymore. I literally found no one that was like me. There's no one there, you know, but you just talk to your home group, which is 30 people out of 200. And she was like, literally no one in there is going to be my friend. I'm going to move schools. And now I'm sure she has lots of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it all works out over time, and also I feel like primary school teachers make high school seem way too scary.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just telling you that it's going to be so different and the teachers are going to be much more strict and stuff like that. But you'll get all the resources you need. You learn everything in class that you'll need for everything. So, I mean, just don't rush it. Don't freak out. Just go with it.
Yeah. And ask questions. Don't be nervous.
Exactly.
Ask questions. Anyone's going to answer. Even if you get lost, go up to someone, say, hey, where's this room? They'll show you.
Yeah.
No one's going to be like, oh, you silly little year 7.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to do that.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
If you could bring one thing from Prospect North to your high school, what would it be and why?
PNTV.
Yeah, PNTV.
Yeah.
Sammy.
I thought so.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What's one skill or project you learned through PNTV that you're still using today?
I would say the conversations.
Yes, conversation.
Is a
Here
big
right
thing.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where I learned everything. This is where
Yeah.
I learned how to interview and how to talk into a podcast mic.
Yeah.
And
And I loved the way that Sammy explained it. That's why we spent so much time here, because it made us feel just more grown up, I feel, because Sammy just talks to you like you're a person, you know.
yeah, like you're an adult. Being able to come in here and learn, and like it was just such a new thing. I mean, I'd never had anything like this at school before.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely,
That's what I'd steal.
conversation. Yeah.
Thank you for taking your time to come visit us. It's been a pleasure seeing you guys again.
PNC Podcast out.
Thank you guys.